Today, family tells us that former U.S. Representative Robert Marion Barry has passed away. In his career, Barry served 7 terms in Congress for the state of Arkansas. His son said he was generous with his time and talents. Although his legacy lives on, he will be profoundly missed. Barry was first elected to Congress in 1996, but decided against re-election in 2010 for health reasons. The family did not say how he died. Barry was 80 years old. Police in Pine Bluff are asking for your help tonight as they search for a suspect in the city's 9th killing this year. Police are looking for this man on your screen, Vincent Tyler Jr. Tyler is wanted in connection to the death of 44-year-old John Payne Jr., who was shot and killed Thursday night. Payne's body was found in a car sitting in the middle of the road near 23rd and Elm. Tyler should be considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information, you're asked to call Pine Bluff Police. A Whitehall student accidentally shot and killed just a day before his graduation. Thursday night, Ben Reddix was riding in a car in North Little Rock when his friend Jamiri Douglas accidentally fired a gun, killing him. Douglas is being charged with manslaughter. Our Ashley Godwin was at the graduation last night where he was supposed to walk across the stage, but instead his seat was empty.
Students in their cap and gown going into the next chapter of their life, but one won't get the chance to walk across that stage.
It's a tough night in Whitehall.
Ben Reddix was a senior at Whitehall. His teacher described him as a wonderful kid and a great athlete.
He just radiated kindness and humor.
He was a star in track and on the football field, committed to Southern Arkansas University on an athletic scholarship.
You know, we were excited to celebrate his accomplishments here, but also looking forward to his accomplishments once he left.
A friend of Reddix accidentally fired a gun, which hit and killed him. This a day before his graduation.
And when I got into my classroom, I just couldn't help but look and see where Ben had sat.
The graduation continued on, but not without honoring the student whose life was lost too soon.
Ben was a great athlete.
Reddix's chair was covered with his cap and gown, plus his jersey, number 5. His mother accepting his diploma. The crowd stood and held up 5 fingers to symbolize Reddix's number.
Ben was just an all-around good kid.
Well, temperature-wise, we were noticeably a lot cooler compared to the 80s we saw over the last several days. Here's what we saw for our highs. Most areas stay below that 80-degree mark. Matter of fact, barely 70 degrees over in Bentonville, low 70s to our north and west, mid to upper 70s across central Arkansas and southern Arkansas as well. Still pretty mild out there. You can see the cloud cover has gradually decreased throughout the afternoon hours, still sticking around across southern portions of the state. Will be partly cloudy to mostly cloudy tonight, but dew points, that humidity much lower, pretty comfortable out there with those dew points in the 50s, even seeing some into the 40s. That's very dry air. Still seeing dew points in the 60s to our south, though, just behind that cold front that made its exit earlier today. As you can see, looking at your evening outlook, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions. Temperatures will be dipping into the upper 50s for tonight. This is what we're tracking in the forecast. Less humid conditions should be lasting into early next week. We do have a warm up as well, but we have an overall quiet weather pattern, which I'll explain more in detail coming up in minutes.
All right, thanks, Krellis. It's been a busy end of the week for Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr. announcing yesterday that relief funding is on the way for tornado victims. More than $500,000 have been donated so far. The mayor emphasizing these funds are going entirely towards tornado relief efforts.
We want to ensure that we're keeping our promise. The promise was, as we took in these dollars, to ensure it goes directly to tornado-related recovery efforts as well as to residents, and at 100%. And that's what we said, that's what we're doing.
The city says they plan to distribute more than $300,000 to homes in need, and the other 40% will go to churches, Goodwill, and disaster relief groups like the American Red Cross and United Way. Mayor Scott also at a ceremony dedicating the new East Little Rock Community Park. The park was funded by a $600,000 investment from the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport. The project has been in the works for nearly 2 years. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. was at the ceremony and thanked the airport for their work in the community.
The airport demonstrated its responsibility by being a good neighbor to this community and understanding that they have to, they must, and they must continue to, when they have the opportunity, to make investments in this neighborhood.
The park has amenities like a meditation garden, sitting and game areas, vegetable gardens, and a pavilion. Now, talks to raise the debt ceiling are still at a standstill, with Republican negotiators telling reporters they're not confident a deal can be reached before default. Christiane Benavides reports.
Mr. President, how concerned are you about the debt talks at home?
Not at all.
President Biden cutting his overseas trip short, heading back to Washington Sunday, earlier than originally scheduled after debt ceiling talks between Republicans and the White House Friday night ended with no deal.
We took a pause because of the frustration that this White House will not acknowledge that they're spending too much.
Republican congressional leaders walked out of the negotiation room and warned there would be no deal without sharp spending cuts. Moments after the walkout, former President Trump urged Republicans to reject the deal and hold out for everything they want. The GOP is calling for what amounts to an across-the-board 13% cut on government spending.
Still believe we'll be able to avoid a default and we'll get something decent done.
Are you confident you'll be able to reach that deadline?
No.
You're still not confident?
No.
Republicans say a deal must be reached this weekend to get it through Congress in time to avoid default. Some Democrats are urging the president to consider using the 14th Amendment to go around Republicans.
Using this authority would allow the president and the United States to continue to pay its bills on time.
If the debt limit isn't raised, the government could run out of money by June 1st, potentially upending financial markets and pausing military salaries, Medicare, and Social Security payments. Christiane Benavides, CBS News.
Stocks were down before markets closed yesterday due to the breakdown in these talks. Meanwhile, Arkansas unemployment rate declined to a record low last month. According to the Arkansas Division of Workforce Services, it dropped to 2.8% in April. That's down from 3% in March. And the labor force rose by almost 3,000 from March to April, increasing for the 7th straight month.